EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show on the Padres Radio Network.
Jackson swings, hits it in the air, deep to right field. He has done it again. Unbelievable.
Coming up, we'll have a recap of the previous Padres game, a preview of today's starting pitching matchup, our keys to the game. Plus, we'll hear from manager Mike Shildt.
Ultimately, what we're here to do is win.
From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
San Diego Padres baseball coming up on 97.3 The Fan and the Padres Radio Network. Today, the Padres take on the Chicago Cubs in the final game of a three-game series. Our starting pitching matchup today for the Cubs, right-hander Ben Brown, and for the Padres, left-hander Kyle Hart. Hi, good everyone. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. First pitch coming up at Wrigley Field in Chicago at 11:20 a.m. Coming up in the next 50 minutes, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We'll hear from today's starting pitcher Kyle Hart, and in just a few minutes, we check in with Tony Gwynn Jr. But first, it's time to set the table, brought to you by Fraser Farms Market. Set your table with the highest quality of natural and organic products from Fraser Farms Market, a San Diego original since 1971, with 3 locations, La Mesa Vista and Oceanside, and at FraserFarmsMarket.com. Padres entered today 7-2 to begin the year. They had a perfect 7-0 homestand before losing the first 2 games of this 3-game series in Chicago. Cubs entered today 7-4. They've won 5 games in a row, a 3-game sweep in Sacramento, followed by wins the last couple of days. Kyle Hart makes his second start in a Padres uniform today. He was very solid in his debut against the Guardians, 2 runs allowed in 5 innings, and we'll see how Kyle Hart does in his second start in the brown and gold here today. Has not been a great couple of days for the Padres at Wrigley Field. Let's take a quick look back to yesterday's game.
Did you miss what happened in the last Padres game? Let's take a look back with our Padres Rewind on the Padres Radio Network.
Yesterday, the Cubs threatened in the bottom of the second against Nick Pivetta. There were runners on first and second, 2 men away for Carson Kelly.
First pitch to the veteran right-hand hitter, line into left center field. Lockridge on the move, has to play it on a hop. Swanson rounding third, he'll score. The throw comes into third base. It's an RBI single for Carson Kelly, and the Cubs take a 1-0 lead.
The trouble didn't stop there. Pivetta walked Ian Happ to load the bases. He walked Kyle Tucker with the bases loaded to bring in another run. It was 2-0 Chicago. In the top of the third, it was Dansby Swanson.
2-0. Hard hit in the air to deep center field. Jackson Merrill's going back at the wall, looking up, gonna go. Dansby Swanson 2 for 2. Singleton scored last inning. He homers here, and the Cub lead is 3-0.
Pivetta went just 3 innings, allowed 3 runs, 6 hits. He walked 3 on 76 pitches. Omar Cruz came on for the bottom half of the 4th inning. Cubs scored again on a double walk and RBI single from Nico Horner. It was 4-0 Cubs. Matt Boyd, a big story for Chicago, 6 scoreless innings. Padres went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position in that span against Boyd. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Omar Cruz on the mound. There were 2 on base for guess who? Carson Kelly.
Pitch is hit in the air to left field, straight away and deep. Lockridge kind of twisting and turning. He's on the warning track, at the wall, looking up, gonna go. Oh, Carson Kelly, what a start to your Cub career. A 3-run home run here in the 6th inning. And now 7-0 Chicago.
Padres trailed 7-0 in the 7th inning. There were 2 on base for Fernando Tatis Jr.
Pitch to Tatis, grounded through the right side and a base hit. Lockridge will come in to score. Diaz rumbles up to second base, an RBI single for Fernando. And the Padres are on the board 7-1 here in the 7th.
That's all the Padres got in the 7th inning. That's all they would score in the game. The final score yesterday at Wrigley Field, the Cubs 7 and the Padres 1. As always, we invite you to get involved on our pregame coverage. You can find me on X at Sammy Lev, SammyLev. Instagram DM's open as well. Sammy Lev there too. You can comment on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Let me know, what is your key to today's game? How do the Padres salvage this series finale in Chicago? May just read your key to the game live here on the air. Let's go out to Wrigley Field.
Let's take a trip up to the Padres broadcast booth for a deep dive on today's matchup with Jesse Agler in our Padres game preview on the Padres Radio Network.
All right, we're joined by, I believe, Tony Gwynn Jr. from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Tony, before we get to anything baseball related, how has your couple of days been in Chicago? Up to anything fun outside the baseball?
Yes, not Jesse Agler, by the way, but indeed Tony Gwynn Jr.
Yes.
I got to go out to a couple different restaurants. One pizza place that was phenomenal, and then I had a burger last night that was recommended by my good buddy John Shambi.
All right, very nice.
And it was good. It was good. Okay. So I got to explore a little bit.
Deep dish pizza?
No, not deep dish. Yeah, no, I wasn't, deep dish is heavy, man. I wasn't ready to relinquish all of those calories to this deep dish. So, yeah, no, I went the regular pizza way.
Okay, very, very good. Glad to hear you've enjoyed yourself in the Windy City. Let's talk a little baseball. Look, offensively, you can look at 1 run scored on Saturday, 1 run scored on Friday. Obviously, the offense has not been as dynamic as it was during the homestand in San Diego, but Tony, I guess approach-wise, look-wise, have you noticed anything different about the offense last couple of days?
I think we may have chased at times a little bit. That hasn't certainly we've had opportunities, though. I mean, some of the 2-out knocks, the Padres were getting fat off of 2-out hits through the first 7 wins, and they haven't been as fortunate in those 2-out situations in the last couple of games. I think on top of that, I think they have maybe expanded the zone a little bit more than we've seen them do early. We haven't seen some of the, long drawn out, extended at bats. And that's not necessarily all on the Padres. This is a credit to the Cubs staff and how well they've thrown the ball. I think the kind of underbelly of this Cubs team is that bullpen, but the Padres haven't been able to get to it because they haven't really, put enough pressure on the starter.
All right, Tony Gwynn Jr. joining us on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. Tony, let's talk about Kyle Hart making his second start for the Padres here today after a pretty good opening start to his season, his Padres debut, 5 innings, 2 runs given up against the Guardians earlier this week. What did you take away from Kyle Hart's Padres debut? I
thought he was on the attack. I thought, a couple of his starts that we got to see during spring, he was – I don't want to say he was nibbling, but he was, having to use a lot of pitches in his outings because he wasn't in the zone enough. And I thought what was impressive about Kyle in that first start back at Petco was he was on the attack. He was the one commanding the zone. I thought he commanded all of his pitches well that day. And I think if he can do that today, he can have some success. This Cubs lineup is in a lot of ways doing the same things that the Padres did through the first 7. And they're just kind of doing it to the Padres here these first 2 games.
Let's talk a little bit about this Cubs offense first in relation to Kyle Hart. Only one player on this Cubs roster has ever seen Kyle Hart. That's Dansby Swanson, had 1 at-bat against him. Could that be an advantage for Kyle Hart today? Somebody who's back in the major leagues. He's changed up what he's done. Not a ton of major league video on him out there. Could that be an advantage today, the fact that the Cubs haven't seen him?
There's not a lot of major league video, but rest assured, there's some video out there, and these teams have it. I think I'll say this: familiarity, leads to comfort, and so there's an advantage from a standpoint that these guys haven't seen him, so there's not this. They can't be all that comfortable not really having seen him or there's with so many unknowns as they go into the box. So yeah, that's an advantage, but don't get it twisted. If Kyle is in the middle of the plate, they're going to get real comfortable pretty quickly. So, he's still got to go out and I think pitch the same way he pitched him at Petco on the attack, attacking the zone and kind of let the chips fall where they may from there. I think that's going to be his best opportunity to really take advantage of the Cubs.
Finally, Tony, it's been an interesting series in this sense. The Padres have actually done a good job limiting Seiya Suzuki, Kyle Tucker, two guys that came in red hot. The guy that hurt him yesterday was Carson Kelly at the bottom of this lineup, batting ninth, once again doing the catching for the Cubs today. Tony, if you were the Padres, how would you treat Carson Kelly at the bottom of this lineup, considering the way he's swinging the bat?
I mean, it boils down to execution. I don't think Carson's doing anything out of the ordinary here. I mean, I think he took advantage of some mistakes, and kudos to him. That's what he's paid to do. And so I don't know that if you go in looking to pitch to Carson Kelly any type of way, other than maybe execute what maybe you didn't do in yesterday's game. And so the Padres have been able to help some of those pickups, but they got a ton of walks in this series.
Yeah.
And those are things that come back to haunt you, whether it's via the run or via more pitches that lead to mistakes elsewhere. So, yeah, I think that's the thing I would focus on them trying to clean up is stop giving them free passes.
Yeah, Tony, read my mind. My first key to the game today, limit the walks for Padres pitching. Tony, as always, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you and Jesse coming up at 11:10 a.m. here in California as the Padres try to salvage this series finale. As always, thanks so much.
Sure thing.
All right, Tony Gwynn Jr. joining us on our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. You're on the Padres radio network. First pitch coming up at 11:20 at Wrigley Field in Chicago. A couple of notes here before we go to break. Lineup for the Padres today looks like this against the right-hander Ben Brown. On the mound for the Cubs, Fernando Tatis Jr. Leading off in right field, Luis Arraez at first base batting second, Manny Machado at third base batting third, Jackson Merrill in center batting cleanup, Jake Cronenworth at second base batting fifth, Xander Bogaerts at shortstop in the sixth spot, Gavin Sheets, the DH, batting seventh, Jason Hayward in left field batting eighth, and Elias Diaz behind the plate batting ninth, with the left-hander Kyle Hart on the mound today. Padres did make a roster move earlier today. They selected the contract of right-hander Logan Gillespie from AAA El Paso, optioned left-hander Omar Cruz back to AAA El Paso. To make room on the 40-man, lefty Tom Cosgrove designated for assignment. So a couple of notes here on the roster moves. Really no fault of Omar Cruz. This comes down to the fact that Cruz threw 60-plus pitches yesterday. You need a fresh arm in the bullpen with 4 games in a row here, including the next 3 in Sacramento. So Padres doing something you thought they probably would do, getting Logan Gillespie up as a fresh arm who can pitch multiple innings out of the bullpen. Omar Cruz goes down. I'm sure it won't be the last we see of Omar Cruz on the major league roster this season. But again, how about Tom Cosgrove getting DFA'd? Unfortunate for Tom. Padres had to make room on the 40-man, but you just think about where Tom was during the 2023 season. Really one of the better young relievers in baseball as a rookie in 2023. Remarkably impressive. Had a tougher 2024, and he has been designated for assignment. Doesn't mean he's necessarily out of the organization yet. We'll see if he clears through waivers. Padres could also trade him. We'll see what the situation is for Tom Cosgrove moving forward. But again, quickly, Gillespie on the 26-man roster, Cruz back to AAA, and Tom Cosgrove has been DFA'd. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. A little bit later, we hear from today's starting pitcher Kyle Hart. Our keys to the game, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and much, much more to do as we walk you up towards first pitch coming up at 11:20 a.m. right here on the Padres Radio Network. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. First pitch coming up at 11:20 a.m. between the Padres and the Cubs. Series finale at Wrigley Field. Padres trying to salvage the final game of this 3-game set. Losing on Friday, losing on Saturday. Hey, still 7-2 on the year. And with a win today, could go to Sacramento 8-2. And you know what? Through 10 games, if you go 8-2 to start the year, I think nobody will be complaining about that. We'll see if the Padres can bounce back here today with left-hander Kyle Hart on the mound. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt in just a moment. Tell you who's hot, who's not. Also take a look at some headlines from around the major leagues, all in this segment. Padres did do something pretty fun today, what's become a bit of a tradition at Wrigley Field for visiting teams, where the rookies go over to the Starbucks across the street and get coffee for their teammates. And Joe Musgrove put out a video earlier today. Padres just put out a photo. Joe chaperoning, if you will, the rookies to the Starbucks across the street. And I think I saw they got 19 coffee orders and then had to walk it back to the clubhouse. But the thing is they do it in full uniform. So this is not street clothes. They go full uniform, head to toe, hat, jersey, pants, socks, hiked up, full uniform. So it's quite the spectacle. Now, looking at the video and the photo, I do have a question, because the 3 guys with Joe making the trip to go get coffee, Brandon Lockridge, Alec Jacob, and Randy Vasquez. Now, these are all relatively young players. Lockridge is a rookie, came up late last year. I would still think has rookie status. Alec Jacob's been up quite a bit, but okay. He, in my head, kind of falls in that category. Randy Vasquez made 20 starts last year, something like that. I don't know. I guess maybe Randy just wanted to go, or maybe it was more like a young player type thing. So those are the 3 guys that took the trip to go get coffee. Lockridge, Jacob, and Vasquez. Fun stuff. Good part of a Wrigley Field tradition it's become around Major League Baseball. Let's hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
No pregame media availability for Mike Shildt today, so we'll revisit what Mike Shildt had to say after yesterday's 7-1 defeat in Chicago. Tough outing yesterday for Nick Pivetta. 3 innings, 3 earned runs given up, 6 hits allowed. He struck out 4, walked 3 on 76 pitches. Here was Mike Shildt after the game yesterday. First, some thoughts on Nick Pivetta.
I thought Nick's stuff was good. He just was able to repeat up as many quality. They took a lot of good at-bats, and let's start there. They took a lot of good at-bats. Their top of the lineup especially doesn't chase out of the zone, put a lot of tougher at-bats on him. Thought was coming out good. Everything was, but just some close miss, a few walks, and we didn't help him as much uncharacteristically defensively in the 4th. But I thought the stuff was fine.
Conversely, does it seem like they're making kind of every play and you're hitting some balls right at them?
Yeah. I mean, it's, we're hitting some balls at people. They're making plays. Their lefty Boyd, he pitched well, kept us off balance. So it's a combination of things.
With Nick, some of the longer counts, so it sounds like you can kind of attribute that to some of the good at-bats that they took. But what was kind of just missing from that put away today?
I think, again, like sometimes you got to give credit to the other group. They took some good at-bats. I didn't think there was anything necessarily missing from Nick's arsenal. They just spoiled some tough pitches, and they got some pitches to handle, and then they didn't help expand the zone and help him out any.
What are you seeing from Gurriel's at-bats? What's going to kind of take to get him going right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's early. Yuli's a more than professional hitter, has done this a long time. Just getting his timing going. Looks like he's a little jumpy, chasing the ball up a little bit, but he'll settle down. He'll give us good at-bats.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after yesterday's game, a 7-1 defeat in Chicago. We'll hear from Mike after today's series finale on our post-game coverage. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios as we walk you up towards first pitch coming up at 11:20 a.m. Let's tell you who's hot, who's not.
Which player is locked in at the dish? Who needs to kick things up another notch? This is Who's Hot, Who's Not on the Padres Radio Network.
We take a look at the hot category. Fernando Tatis Jr., 3 hits in this series, still batting .412 in 34 at-bats with a home run and 6 RBIs to begin the season. Jackson Merrill took an 0 for yesterday. First game without a hit this season. He's batting .375 with 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and 8 RBIs to begin his year. 0 for yesterday. We keep him in the hot category today. In the not category, Yuli Gurriel, just 1 for 13 to begin the season with the Padres. Remember, he had that pinch hit, go-ahead RBI single, big hit during the homestand. Well, that's the only hit he has so far this year. Gurriel with a right-hander on the mound. Not in the lineup today for the Padres. Gavin Sheets doing the DHing today and batting 7th, and that's a quick look at who's hot, who's not around the major leagues. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look at some headlines from around the majors. We have our keys to the game. Plus, we hear from today's starting pitcher, Kyle Hart. Much, much more to do on our pregame coverage after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. First pitch coming up at 11:20 a.m. in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Left-hander Kyle Hart on the mound for the Padres today. Right-hander Ben Brown on the mound for the Cubs. We'll hear from Kyle Hart a little bit later in this segment. Take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard as well. But before we do that, let's take a look at some headlines from around the majors.
Let's examine the most important news and the latest information you need to know in the world of Major League Baseball. Sam Levitt takes you Around the Horn, presented by Valley View Casino and Hotel. Get ready for Major League winning when you join Valley View Casino and Hotel's Players Club and receive over $200 in free instant offers. Visit valleyviewcasino.com to learn more today.
Couple of notes on the other Southern California teams on Around the Horn today to lead things off. Shohei Ohtani threw a 26-pitch bullpen session yesterday before the Dodgers beat the Phillies 3-1. They're playing the series finale in Philadelphia right now. Ohtani continues to recover after having right elbow surgery in September of 2023. Dodgers have said they plan to use a six-man rotation when Ohtani is ready to pitch in games. Still seems like that's a ways away. Mike Trout heating up in Anaheim. Trout hit a 2-run home run last night in the Angels' 10-4 win against the Guardians. Mike Trout now has a home run in 3 consecutive games. So Mike Trout is healthy and looking better for the Angels. We'll see how it all goes as his season continues. Couple of other notes in the NL West. Chase Dollander, the Rockies' #1 prospect, Major League Baseball's number 24 overall prospect, makes his debut today. Against the A's, Yankees are averaging 9 runs per game. They have 25 home runs on the season, one shy of the Major League record for the most through 9 games of a season in MLB history. They hope to add to those totals by sweeping the Pirates today. More on that game coming up a little bit later on. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this, not out-of-town scoreboard, at Major League Headlines on this Sunday. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up a little bit later. Let's give you a quick update on Yu Darvish.
Who's in? Who's out? This is the Bada Fulkerson Injury Report, presented by San Diego's Bulldog Injury Attorneys, who hope you're never in an accident. But if you are, make Bada Fulkerson the first call you make. Hit them up 24/7 at badafulkerson.com.
As we know, Yu Darvish was put on the IL at the start of the season, began dealing with elbow inflammation back in spring training. Yesterday, Mike Shildt gave the latest update on Yu.
He's playing catch, so that's good. He's been playing catch up to, not sure what he's up to today, but in recovering well. He's been up to 120 feet consistently, so it seems like he's progressing the way we would like him, and he would like him too.
So quick update on Yu Darvish. He continues to play catch, and we will see what the updates are in the days and weeks to come on Yu Darvish. No real updates that I know of about Sean Reynolds, Brian Hoeing, some bullpen arms that you could see up here once they're ready to go. Both those guys on the IL to start the season. And as we get updates on those guys and Yu, we will continue to pass them along. Left-hander Kyle Hart on the mound for the Padres here today, making his second start in the brown and gold. A very solid first start in his Padres debut. His first start in the major league since 2020. Earlier this week against the Guardians, 5 innings, 2 runs given up on just a couple of solo home runs. Here was Kyle Hart on what he took away from his first start with the Padres.
I think it just kind of tells yourself, like, hey, we can do it. We can get some outs. We can pitch here. I think more so, like what I'm fighting to do right now is earn the trust of the guys in this locker room, and I want them to feel comfortable with me on the mound. So that's kind of been my goal. Last start and probably these next couple moving forward is just continue to earn the trust of my staff and of my teammates.
And we'll see if Kyle Hart can do that here today in his second start with the Padres. Hart did go to Indiana University, where he was roommates with Kyle Schwarber, so he does have some Midwest ties, certainly. Here was Kyle Hart on pitching in the Midwest today, and more specifically on pitching at Wrigley Field.
It's definitely a great place to play, both for the home team and the away team. I think it's just so historic. But no, I'm just going to go out, trust my defense, trust the game plan, make good pitches, see what happens.
So that was Kyle Hart on pitching at Wrigley Field. I should mention, speaking of the Midwest, Kyle did grow up in Cincinnati, so a Midwest guy and back in the Midwest to pitch at Wrigley here today. Obviously, this was recorded yesterday before Kyle Hart's start. Just a little context here before this next clip. But Kyle Hart on being on a Padres team that, despite losing the last couple of days, is still off to a very good start here in 2025.
The last time the Padres even started 4-0, I think we won the pennant. So to start 7-0 is pretty darn good, and I think that's something we're really proud of. Obviously, we dropped one yesterday. Good ball game, good ball club over there, but we're going to try to win 7 more. Just I think we know that we have the ability to go on streaks, and we're just kind of looking for that feeling of getting it started and keeping it rolling when we do get it started.
That was Kyle Hart yesterday inside the Padres clubhouse. We'll see how Kyle does against a good Cubs offense here today at Wrigley Field. First pitch coming up at 11:20 in Chicago. Let's go to our YouTube comments. Rod chiming in. Rod saying his keys to the game: start fast with the small ball, get runners on base to create some magic, give Hart offensive support so that he can work his magic. And Rod, we'll see if the Padres can do all those things here today. As always, you can get in your keys to today's game either on the YouTube comments or also by finding me on X at Sammy Lev, SammyLev. My Instagram DMs always open at Sammy Lev there as well. Let me know what is your key to this series finale against the Cubs, and I may just read your key to the game coming up later on in our pregame coverage. A lot to do when we come back. We'll have our keys to the game, a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, what to watch for today, and a full breakdown of this pitching matchup between Kyle Hart and Ben Brown. First pitch at 11:20 at historic Wrigley Field on the north side of Chicago. More after this on the Padres Radio Network. Welcome back to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Your water should be perfect. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as we get ready for first pitch coming up at 11:20 a.m. at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Left-hander Kyle Hart on the mound for the Padres. Right-hander Ben Brown on the mound for the Chicago Cubs. We go out to Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr. in just about 14 minutes. They'll have the full starting lineups. First pitch pitch and then all the play-by-play. We'll have our keys to the game in just a second. But one thing you should take notice of, Luis Arraez, who got off to, as we know, a pretty tough start to his season, he has been better as of late. Arraez, despite starting the season 0 for 16, Luis Arraez now has 6 hits in his last 18 at-bats, and Arraez yesterday had a couple of hits and was on base 3 times. So we'll see if Arraez can keep it going towards the top of that Padres lineup here today. Let's take a look at our keys to today's game.
How will the Padres unlock a win today? These are the keys to the game. Presented by El Centro Motors Ford. Meet your new Ford General Manager, Greg Ryan, now at El Centro Motors Ford, your new Ford truck, Bronco, and SUV HQ. Call Greg directly at 619-944-0774.
Our keys to today's game. Key number 1, cut down on the walks and draw the walks. Walks have been a big issue for Padres pitching in this series. They walked 8 batters yesterday, the most issued by Padres pitchers since July 28th of last season. They walked 7 on Friday, so that is 15 walks in just 16 innings of work during this series. Kyle Hart only walked 1 in his first start of the season. We'll see if Hart can get the Padres off to a good start today as far as limiting the walks. And for the Padres offensively, walks is also something to keep in mind because the Padres walked a ton of times during the homestand, not so much on the road, at least so far. They walked at least twice in all 7 games of that season opening homestand. The Padres, the last couple of games, have walked 2 times. So limiting the walks on the pitching side, being a little bit more patient, working at bats, walking on the offensive side, also a mini key there as well. Key number 2, runners in scoring position. The Padres are just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position so far in this series. In that 7-game win streak to begin the year, Padres hit 293 with runners in scoring position. So clearly, Padres have to do a better job today at cashing in when they have runners on base. Key number 3, cool down Carson. Cubs catcher Carson Kelly is red hot. Hit a home run yesterday and collected 4 RBIs. Kelly now has 10 RBIs in his first 5 games as a Cub. How about this? It sets a new franchise record since 1901 for the most RBI in a player's first 5 games as a Cub. That's how good Carson Kelly has been, and Kelly doing the catching, batting 9th for the Cubs here today. And that's a look at our keys to today's game. First pitch coming up at 11:20 at Wrigley Field. Let's pause for station ID on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hi, this is Jackson Merrill. The Padres play here on 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station.
Military Sunday on the Padres Radio Network is presented by your San Diego Toyota Dealers Association. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, no cost maintenance standard, so you get peace of mind standard. We go out to Jesse Agler, Tony Gwynn Jr. in just a little bit more than 10 minutes. So baseball coming up on this Sunday here in America's finest city as the Padres try to salvage the series finale against the Cubs in Chicago. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We have a number of games going on right now. Nationals ahead of the Diamondbacks 2-1 in the second inning in D.C. Dodgers lead the Phillies 2-0 in the second in Philadelphia. Yankees ahead of the Pirates 1-0 in Pittsburgh in the second. Doubleheader in Boston today at Fenway Park. They got rained out yesterday. The Cardinals and Red Sox did, so a doubleheader there today. Game 1 of that twin billing. Top of the second, no score. White Sox 2, Tigers 0 in Detroit in the second. Mets and the Blue Jays are scoreless in the second in New York. Other games yet to begin. Orioles and the Royals at 11:10 in Kansas City. Reds and the Brewers at 11:10 in Milwaukee. Astros and the Twins at 11:10 in Minnesota. Rays and the Rangers in Arlington at 11:35. A's and the Rockies in Colorado at 12:10. Mariners and the Giants in San Francisco at 1:05. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday. We'll have more on all those games coming up little bit later in our post-game coverage. One guy to watch in the lineup today for the Cubs that we didn't focus on in who's hot, who's not, but we should mention him as well. We mentioned Carson Kelly, how good he's been. Nico Hoerner, he's 7 for 20 with 4 RBIs, 5 runs scored, 4 stolen bases during this 5-game win streak for the Cubs. Had an RBI single in yesterday's game, so there are a number of guys to really keep an eye on up and down that Cubs lineup. We have spoken a lot about Seiya Suzuki and Kyle Tucker in this series. Let's focus on those two guys as we tell you what to watch for in this series finale.
What's the one thing Sam Levitt will be keeping his eye on in today's game? This is What to Watch For, presented by Genesis Home Improvements, San Diego's trusted painting, roofing, and window company. Save 15% today on a new beginning for your home. Visit GenesisHomeImprovementsSD.com.
What to watch for in today's game. Can the Padres continue to limit Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki? They both came into this series scorching hot, hitting well over 300 since the Cubs series in Japan. Each came in with 4 home runs on the season, but the Padres have done a really good job against them, or at least not letting those two guys hurt him. Tucker is only 1 for 6 with a single in this series. He's walked 3 times. Suzuki is 0 for 6 with 3 walks. So, what to watch for here today? Can the Padres escape this series without those two hitters hurting them? Now, of course, they've done a good job of that. Padres have lost both games so far, but you would figure if you can hold Tucker and Suzuki and limit them, probably have a good chance to win today's game and get out of Chicago with a win. So that's what to watch for today. Can the Padres continue to limit Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki? The Cubs pitching has been really, really good as of late. A 2.90 ERA for their starting rotation, a 0.64 ERA from their bullpen during a 5-game win streak. A win today would match the Cubs' longest win streak from all of last season. So the Cubbies playing well. They come in a record of 7-4. Padres come in a record of 7-2. Speaking of pitching, let's preview today's pitching matchup between Ben Brown and Kyle Hart.
Let's take a look at who's on the bump today with our starting pitching preview on the Padres Radio Network.
On the mound for the Padres, left-hander Kyle Hart, 32 years old. His first start of the season, his Padres debut against the Cleveland Guardians. He was very good. 5 innings, 2 earned runs given up, 5 hits allowed. He struck out 4 and walked 1. He gave up 2 solo home runs. And solo home runs, they're not going to hurt you too much. So ended up being okay for Kyle Hart against the Guardians. It was Kyle Hart's first appearance in the major league since 2020 when he debuted with the Red Sox. Those appearances back with the Red Sox did not go particularly well. He gave up 19 earned runs in just 11 innings, including 3 starts. He walked 10 in those 11. So his first start with the Padres went a whole lot better than that. Hart spent a couple more seasons in the Red Sox organization, then signed with the Mariners system, the Phillies, in 2023. He then went to Korea last year. As we know, we've told the story a number of times, that was a real game changer for Kyle Hart. He won the Korean version of the Cy Young Award while pitching in the KBO last season, struck out 182 in 157 innings. Interesting part of today's game. Only one player on the Cubs has ever seen Kyle Hart. That's Dansby Swanson, who had an RBI single against him in their only meeting. The pitch mix for Hart: sweeper, changeup, sinker, four-seam fastball, and a slider. And we'll see if he can take advantage of a Cubs lineup that has not seen him. On the mound for the Cubs, right-hander Ben Brown, 25 years old. He was originally drafted by the Phillies, traded to the Cubs in the summer of 2022 in exchange for reliever David Robertson. He'll make his 3rd outing of the season today. Came out of the bullpen in Japan against the Dodgers, went 2 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs given up, 4 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 5. His first start of the season in Sacramento against the A's. He went 5 innings, 3 earned runs allowed, 6 hits. He struck out 5, walked 2, allowed 1 home run. Brown had a 3.58 ERA in 55-plus innings during his rookie season in 2024. Faced the Padres in his first major league start in April of last year at Petco Park. He was very good that day. 4 2/3 innings, no earned runs given up, 3 hits, and he struck out 5. But one matchup to watch with Ben Brown, Manny Machado last year in that meeting went 2 for 2 against Brown. The pitch mix for Ben Brown, 4-seam fastball, a knuckle curveball. He'll throw those two pitches more than 90% of the time, and he'll also mix in the occasional changeup. And that's a look at our starting pitching matchup between Kyle Hart and Ben Brown. One more note on Brown. He's a guy who really prides himself on getting swings and misses, really in a Cubs rotation that is a bit more pitch to contact than what you're accustomed to seeing around Major League Baseball these days. Brown has a 35% whiff rate so far. That puts him in the 84th percentile among qualified pitchers. So he's somebody who does get swing and miss. We'll see if the Padres can change that today with Ben Brown on the mound for the Cubs. As always, we appreciate you listening to the EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Your water should be perfect. Let's set the table one more time for you as we get ready for today's game at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Padres come in 7-2 to begin the season. They had a perfect 7-0 homestand before losing the first two games of this 3-game series in Chicago. Cubs enter today 7-4. They're hot. They've won 5 in a row, 3-game sweep in Sacramento, followed by wins the last 2 days. Padres obviously got off to an excellent start, and I'll tell you what, you win today, good outing from Kyle Hart, get the offense going. I think they would head to Sacramento feeling pretty good. An 8-2 start through 10 games to begin the season. You get swept today in Chicago. I don't know that the feeling is quite as good. Then you have a 7-game homestand where you were perfect. You go on the road, you get swept. So even though the Padres are 7-2, does feel like a game at Wrigley Field today that the Padres really want to win. You want to head to Sacramento 8-2. We'll see if the Padres can do that here today. When we come back, Jesse Agler, Tony Gwynn Jr. have the full starting lineups, first pitch, and all the play-by-play. I'll talk to you on our post-game coverage. You're listening to your home for San Diego Padres baseball, 97.3 The Fan, and the Padres Radio Network. Enjoy the game, everybody.